Hello students, how are you all? So today we are going to start chapter 5 of our geography, which is agriculture. In this chapter you will study about what is agriculture, importance of agriculture, factors affecting agriculture, types of agriculture, major crops, agricultural development. So let's first begin with what is agriculture. Agriculture is both art and science of cultivating crops and domestication of animals. Farmers produce different types of food to feed themselves, their family members, and others. Some of them are eaten as it is, and some of them are eaten after being cooked, and some other foods are eaten after being produced, such as double breads. In our country, nearly two-thirds of our people are involved in agriculture, and in all over the world, more than half of the population is directly or indirectly involved in the agricultural activities. Food is the basic requirement of human beings. For their survival, requirement of food has led to start agriculture. Earlier, human beings were dependent upon food gathering, hunting and fishing for their survival, which led to the beginning of agriculture. It is the most ancient economic activity of the human beings. Earlier, human beings were dependent upon food gathering, hunting and fishing for their survival. Gradually, they started growing crops along the river valleys, which led to the beginning of agriculture. It is the most ancient economic activity of the human beings. It is the science and art of producing plants from the soil. It provides food, shelter, and clothing to the human beings. The early men settled in communities near river valleys that helped ancient civilization to flourish along the river valleys. In simple terms, agriculture means land cultivation, but in wider terms, agriculture is the science and art of raising crops, rearing of livestock, forestry, and fishing. Importance of agriculture. Most of the population of the world still depends on agriculture for its livelihood. It is a major occupation of people in the developing countries of the world. India is an agricultural country. Hence, it is the backbone of our country's economic development. Agriculture also creates huge market for tractors, threshers, harvesters, fertilizers, pesticides and other basic and industrial products. It helps in providing employment, eradicating poverty, enhancing trade and foreign exchange. Agriculture also plays an important role in strengthening global relations by encouraging international trade of agricultural products. Some of agricultural products cannot be consumed directly. They have to be processed by different types of economic activities. They are primary activities. It involves the extraction and production of resources provided by nature. Agriculture, fishing, gathering, lumbering and mining are some of the primary activities. This is the image of agriculture, primary activity. Secondary activities. It involves the processing of the products of the primary activities. Baking of bread, making of cloth, processing of steel, etc. are some of the secondary activities. Tertiary activities. These basically help the primary and secondary economic activities through services, transport, trade, insurance, and banking. This is the image of making double bread, secondary activity, banking, tertiary activity. Factors affecting agriculture. There are two factors which influence the development of agriculture. First, physical or geographical factors. Second, economic factors. Means of irrigation, availability of high yield variety, HYV of seeds, fertilizers and pesticides, availability of labor, etc. affect the agricultural development. Types of agriculture. Types of agriculture depend upon the terrain, climatic condition and economic background. It may be divided into two types. First, subsistence farming. In subsistence farming, all the products are consumed by the farmers and no product reaches commercial market. It includes nomadic herding and shifting agriculture. Nomadic herding. People migrate along with their animals from one place to another in search of fodder for their animals. Generally, they rear cattle, sheep, goats, camels and yaks for milk, skin, meat and wool. It is common in the parts of Central and Western Asia, East and Southwest Africa and Northern Eurasia. Examples: Bhutias and Gurjars are the nomadic tribes of Himalayas in India. They move in caravans. Look at this image. This is nomadic herding. Shifting agriculture. People burn a certain area and do cultivation there. After some time, when the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivators move to another place, and the same process is repeated there. This type of agriculture is also called slash and burn agriculture. This agriculture is done with simple tools and the method is unscientific. Per hectare yield is low. The people do not lead a settled life. It is prevalent in dense forest of tropical Africa, Southeast Asia and some parts of Northeast India. In Northeast India, it is called jhuming. Crops like cassava, maize, sweet potato and tapioca are grown in this type of farming. Commercial agriculture. Crops grown with the aim of selling the product and earning profit is called commercial agriculture. Farmers select some single crop according to the geographical and market conditions of the region. It is called crop specialization. There are different types of commercial agriculture practiced in the world. The main types are extensive agriculture, intensive agriculture, and plantation agriculture. Extensive agriculture. It is practiced in developed countries like USA, Canada, Australia, Russia. Agriculture is done on a big land holding on a large scale with modern machines. It is generally practiced in sparsely populated areas where land is available in abundance and the input of labor is less. Total produce is large, but per hectare yield is comparatively less. Farmers mostly grow one or two crops a year for marketing: corn, wheat, oats. Oil seeds are the main crops of extensive agriculture. Intensive agriculture. It is a type of agriculture where farmers apply all modern techniques of agriculture to obtain maximum from limited area. It requires huge labor. Land holding is low and yield per hectare is high due to long growing period and fertile soil. More than one crop is cultivated. Rice is the main crop, but the farmers also grow wheat, pulses, oilseeds, etc. It is practiced in thickly populated areas of the monsoon regions of South, Southeast and East Asia. Major parts of Bangladesh, India, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia and Philippines also practice intensive agriculture. You can see this image. This is the image of intensive agriculture. Mixed farming. When animals are reared along with the cultivation of land, it is known as mixed farming. Both food crops and fodders are cultivated, common in the developed parts of the world. That is the eastern part of North America, Western Europe, Russia, Australia and New Zealand. The farm size is moderate and farming is done intensively. The yield is high, crop rotation is practiced to retain soil fertility. Farmers grow root crops like potatoes, legumes like peas, cereal crops like wheat, and fodder crops like alfalfa. They raise cattle for beef and sheep for mutton. Pigs and poultry are also kept. Pastoral farming. It is the commercial rearing of livestock like cattle, sheep and goats for meat, milk, wool, hides and various other products. It is practiced in the temperate grasslands, the prairies of the USA, the pampas of Argentina, the velds of South Africa, the steppes of Eurasia and the downs of Australia. The animals are kept in huge farms called ranches. The ranches are managed and looked after scientifically. It is highly specialized and there are separate departments for every stage of animal production. Dairy farming. It is highly intensive type of livestock farming. It is the rearing of dairy cattle to produce milk and milk products. Dairy farming is most common in UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, USA, Australia, Switzerland and New Zealand. In India, dairy cooperative farms have been set up in Gujarat. This is the image of dairy farm. Do you know Amul, a dairy cooperative movement in India now managed by Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited, spurred the White Revolution in India. Plantation agriculture. This type of agriculture is mostly practiced in tropical and subtropical regions. Tropical and subtropical regions. It is a commercial type of farming with a specialization to a single crop continuously for several years. It is a very organized system of agriculture where crops are grown for sale in distant markets rather than local consumption. It requires scientific method of farming, huge capital investment, transport facilities, efficient management, and skilled but low cost labor in large number. Plantation agriculture is practiced in hot and humid regions of the world. Example crops like coffee, rubber, and tea. Most of the processing work is done at the plantation site itself. This is the image of rubber plant. Look at this flow chart to understand types of agriculture. Subsistence, commercial. In subsistence, there is nomadic, shifting. In commercial, there is extensive, intensive, and plantation. Major crops. On the basis of their use, major crops are classified into cereals, fiber crops, and beverage crops. Cereal, it includes rice, wheat, maize, and millets. Rice. Soil type, alluvial, loamy, and clay soil. Temperature, 27 degrees Celsius and above, with minor variations during sowing, growing, and harvesting seasons. Rainfall, 100 centimeter above. Areas, deltas, river valleys, coastal plain, and terraced field in mountainous regions. Rice producing areas, Bangladesh, China, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, and USA. India is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. It is cultivated in India in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal. Leading exporters of rice in the world are Thailand and Vietnam. Wheat, soil, loamy, temperature 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius at the time of sowing, 20 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius at the time of harvesting. Rainfall 75 cm to 100 cm. Harvest period should be frost free. It is the main crop of temperate region. Mid-latitudinal and dry subtropical regions are ideal for its cultivation. Area, temperate grasslands of the world. In India, it is cultivated in the northwestern parts of India, Bihar, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Leading exporter, Canada and USA. Look at this image. This is the image of wheat harvesting. Maize. Soil type, well-drained alluvial soil. Temperature, 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. Rainfall, 50 cm to 100 cm. In areas with less rainfall, it is grown under irrigation. Areas in the world, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, China, India, Mexico, Russia, South Africa. In USA, maize is known as corn. In India, maize is cultivated in Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. It is known as Makkah in India. Leading exporters, China, France, USA. Millets. Soil type, it can be grown on soil of poor quality. Temperature, it grows well in 18 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. Rainfall about 30 cm to 75 cm. Areas in the world, China, India, and Nigeria. In India, it is mainly cultivated in the area of Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, and Uttar Pradesh. This is the image of millets. It includes coarse grains like jowar, bajra, and ragi. It is used both as food grains and as a fodder. Second, fiber crops. On the basis of origin, fibers can be divided into two categories, natural and artificial fibers. Natural fibers are cotton, jute, and natural silk. Artificial fibers are rayon, nylon, and terracotta. Cotton. Black soil are ideal for its cultivation. Temperature 30 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. It is a crop of tropical and subtropical region. Rainfall, it can grow well in regions of 60 cm to 100 cm of annual rainfall. During the harvesting period, weather should be dry, frost-free and sunny. Area, Brazil, Egypt, India, Mexico, Pakistan and Sudan. Egypt produces one of the finest cotton in the world. In India, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Haryana, Maharashtra and Punjab are the main cotton producing states. Look at this image. This is the image of cotton plant. Cheap and efficient labor is required for plucking cotton balls. It is mainly grown under irrigation. Jute. Soil type, alluvial soil found in river delta. It grows well in flood plains. Temperature, Jute crop requires more than 25 degrees Celsius temperature. Rainfall, annual rainfall should be more than 150 centimeter. Area, Bangladesh, Brazil, Myanmar and Thailand. In India, jute is cultivated in Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta of West Bengal, Assam, Bihar, Meghalaya and Orissa are also jute producing states. India is one of the leading producers of jute. Nowadays, jute industry is continuously decreasing due to its high cost and availability of cheap synthetic substitutes. Do you know? Retting is a process by which the fiber is separated from the plant stem by decaying them in water. Third, beverage crops. Tea and coffee are two important beverage crops. Tea. Soil type, a deep, well-drained, fertile alluvial soil is good for the crop. Temperature, it grows well in hot and humid conditions of the tropical and subtropical regions. Temperature requirement is 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Rainfall, it needs 150 centimeter to 300 centimeter of annual rainfall. Hilly slopes are ideal for its cultivation. Area, Argentina, Bangladesh, China, Indonesia, Japan, Kenya, Sri Lanka, etc. India is the leading producer of tea in the world. Do you know? It is the British who started tea plantation in India. In India, major tea producing states are Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. This is the image of tea plantation. In this map, you can see major crop areas of India. Coffee. Soil type. Coffee needs well-drained fertile soil in hilly slopes. Temperature 15 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. Hot and humid climate. Rainfall 150 centimeter to 200 centimeter. Irrigation is required where rainfall is less than 100 centimeter. Area, Brazil is the leading producer of coffee in the world. Colombia, Indonesia, Ivory Coast, Jamaica, Kenya and Nigeria are the other main coffee producing countries. In India, major coffee producing states are hilly regions of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Agricultural development. Early, people had surplus food because the population was less than the production. Now population explosion has increased the pressure on land in order to produce more food. This situation compelled the people to develop new techniques of agriculture so that productivity could be increased. Now farmers are using HYV high yielding variety of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides and modern equipments. This is the image of mechanized pesticide sprayer. Now some countries have developed genetically modified crops through biotechnology. In this, the higher yield is produced by introducing foreign genes from different species. It has more nutrition value, better flavor and color in the food. The use of genetically modified crop is still limited. Scientists believe that genetically modified crops can help the environment by reducing the problem of pesticides. Critics of biotechnology are worried about the adverse effect of genetically modified crops on the environment. In developing countries, most of the agricultural activities are done through manual labor, but in developed countries, it is done by machines. Do you know? Sericulture is the commercial rearing of silkworm. Pisciculture, breeding of fish in specially constructed tanks and ponds. Viticulture, cultivation of grapes. Horticulture, commercial growing of fruits, vegetables and flowers. Summing up, food is the basic requirement of human beings for their survival. Most of the population of the world still depends on the agriculture for its livelihood. Crops grown with the aim of selling the product and earning profit is called commercial agriculture. When animals are reared along with the cultivation of land, it is known as mixed farming. Pastoral farming, the commercial rearing of livestock like cattle, sheep and goats for meat, milk, wool, hides and various other products. India is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. Tea and coffee are two important beverage crops. India is the leading producer of tea in the world. Brazil is the leading producer of coffee in the world. Thank you class. Let's meet for the next chapter.